I got you. Part 3. Now, before we discuss that interview that Kyle did with the neighborhood talk about him exiting the Shade Room, let's get into some of these DMs, from the Shade Room. And I want to thank one of our nosy bystanders for actually reaching out to the Shade Room. So let's see what they have to say. So our nosy bystander actually reached out to the Shade Room, and let's dissect exactly what it is they had to say. So our nosy bystander started off the conversation by saying, why y'all not talking about the Jakes family situation like everyone else? Just wondering, is it because y'all owner is friends with them? The Shade Room stated, what's the situation? Yeah, all right. Our nosy bystander continued and said, Cora Jakes manipulating Michelle, taking her son Jason, allegedly. I know y'all seeing all of this. The Shade Room replied, no, actually haven't heard about it. All right. Our nosy bystander continues and says, I also see how y'all owner have been on the Jakes platform a couple times. So just wondering, is that the reason why y'all haven't had y'all post the story? Our nosy bystander continues and says, oh wow, you're missing the T. You want the story? But now we're going to get to where it gets juicy. The Shade Room replies and says, we have a spiritual page called The Same Room, and lots of spiritual leaders and celebrities speak on that platform, but we haven't heard this story. Is it about his daughter? Our nosy bystander goes on and says, and Pastor Ike's sister works for the Shade Room as well, so that could be another reason why this story is not being broadcast. And yes, it's about his daughter. Michelle have been going live telling her story on how they helped take her son and everything. The Shade Room replies, it doesn't seem like something we would post. Can you send the details? Now, before we continue, I just wanted to make it abundantly clear. Why wouldn't this story, one of the biggest stories that has been gracing across all of the internet, not be something that they would post? And don't you worry, the Shade Room told us why. I didn't even have to tell the nosy bystander this. She knew what was up. Our nosy bystander goes on to say, but you post about other drama and other things that are not relevant, so that's weird. And I couldn't agree more. Now, just so y'all know, the Shade Room continues. Now, the Shade Room states, we post drama that has to do with what people our platform cares about. Now, if we stop the conversation right there, it's abundantly clear that the Shade Room, or whoever it is writing those messages, thinks that the Shade Room does not care about TD Jakes, Sarita Jakes, Cora Jakes, Sarah Jakes, Jermaine Jakes, Jamar Jakes, and the others. And if that's not true, you guys better find somebody else to be checking your messages. Now, before I read the statement, this is probably exactly where the Shade Room employee lost their job. The employee continues and says, if it's happening and we haven't heard about it, then more than likely our roommates don't care about it. They send us things they want to see on the page, just as you did, but this is the first message we've received about it. Part 4.